Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Phi and this is Money Philosophy. Welcome back to another episode of technical analysis for some of the stocks in the technology sector. Today we are going to talk about Shopify, NVDA, Roku. I will also talk about NIO and Tesla, as well as visiting Google, since Google represented the best chart from the last video that I made. So let's get right into it. But first, if you're new to my channel, please consider subscribing and like this video. I talk a lot about personal finance, stock analysis, both technical and fundamental, and I hope to see you in future videos where I will walk you through my investing journey. Please note that I am a long-term investor, but I do regularly reviewing short-term charts so that I can understand the short-term price action of the stock. That allows me to do different things with my short-term vehicles that could potentially either enhance my portfolio or maintain my portfolio on red days. That said, everything that I said in here is not necessarily investment advice. I might not know what I'm doing, so please don't listen to me in order to make investment advice. Listen for entertainment purposes only. So without further ado, let's get right into it. Here's Tesla's daily chart. Tesla had a strong support around the $600 level, and it is trying to make it to the 741 level, which is 50 days SMA. To get there, it needs to surpass the resistance of 700, 717, and then it can get to 741. The volume today is only 84%, so it is not ginormous. The majority of the volume is buy volume, so people are probably expecting a really good quarter for Tesla's delivery. Analysts estimate that Tesla would deliver 172,000 vehicles this quarter. While that is a big number and a especially big year-over-year comparison, I think that is the calm before the storm, because if Q1 and Tesla could deliver 172,000 vehicles for the entire year, it is likely topping in the 900 to a million vehicles level, which is another record year for Tesla. Now, keep in mind that the stock's reaction might be very different, because analysts can estimate 172,000 and Tesla comes in at 165 or 167,000, which is really, really good year over year. But the stock could still sell off. So the stock doesn't really reflect the reality of Tesla for 2021 and beyond. And if it does tank, especially below 600, it would be a buying opportunity. Keep in mind that this Friday is not a trading day. The market is closed, and it is April the 2nd, which is usually when Tesla announced delivery numbers. So I don't know if it necessarily will release the number on Friday or if it will release on Saturday instead, as it has no bearing on the market, and Monday would be the first trading day after the announcement. I do expect to sell off, as with all time with Tesla. It always sell the news, but if Tesla somehow managed to pull in above 172,000, we could potentially see a huge spike. That is unlikely though, because Tesla does have production capacity constraint, and in looking at the numbers for Shanghai and for Fremont by the week, I don't think that Tesla could make it above 172,000 in terms of production, much less delivery. There have been challenges with Tesla facility. It had a fire recently that probably took a couple of days to settle down. It had also a issue with refresh Model S and X that are now delayed in delivery, so that could hurt the S and X delivery number high level. So long story short, I think that Tesla does have production constraint, which will lead to delivery constraint, but the number will still be good regardless. In the grand scheme of things, it might not meet estimate by the analyst, however. Let's talk about NIO, be it a competitor of Tesla in China. I think it's important we analyze NIO's chart for the short term as well. Also has a head and shoulder pattern on the daily here. Today's price candle, it hit the resistance of 38.62, and it is ending the day around there. The daily candle, however, does look to be a topping candle, so I'm not expecting NIO to really spike up big from here, and depending on volume, it also had only 86% for today, March the 31st, so I'm not entirely sure if that's necessarily a bullish reversal. NIO will need to have a bullish reversal in order to resume bullish trend, and right now I don't see that. 200-day simple moving average is at 33.42. And 50 days SMA is at 49.13. So for NIO to become bullish, it needs to get back to above 49.13. And right now, if you just look at this leg right here, it looks to have a double bottom, and it could potentially move up, but the daily candle does not give me a whole lot of hope, so we shall see what the future will bring for NIO. NIO is experiencing the chip shortage situation. It does seem to affect the company with some major shutdown last week, so it could affect production. Of course, the downside risk with investing in NIO is that it's a Chinese company, and it could potentially have regulatory issue, both US and China, and it could lead to some sort of a delisting situation. I don't see that being an issue at this point, but that is a risk nonetheless. Another thing to note is that the recent infrastructure plan proposed by Biden provided some assistance, actually a lot of assistance to the EV manufacturers, but it specifically said to American-made electric vehicles. So I don't think that NIO vehicles will be a beneficiary of this infrastructure bill. Granted, NIO is not currently selling in the US, so that is a moot point either way. But it is important to note that NIO right now, the play is only for the China EV market. This is NVIDIA's weekly chart. It has been pulling a bull flag on the weekly, just like Amazon, and it has started that since March of last year. So it has been running up and consolidating for a year now. We are waiting for a big breakout. My price target here is 757 and 982. Once NVIDIA gets over 584, which is the upper end of my bull flag, and 614, which is the all-time high, we should be able to see NVIDIA flies into the 700 area, and if it consolidates there, it could potentially get to the 900 area. NVIDIA is definitely a long-term hold for me. If it does tank below any particular level, it will be a buying opportunity for me. Taking a look at the daily chart here, volume today is 89%. So once again, it wasn't huge, but it wasn't too bad either. The 50-day simple moving average is also approaching the 200-day simple moving average, which is not ideal for me. I'd like to see a strong, healthy gap like this one. But the fact that it has been running almost parallel for the last few days tells me that it doesn't really want to cross. NVIDIA touched the 50 days SMA today and slightly retraced down. 50 days SMA is 539, and it ended the day at 533. So that is not too bad. Tomorrow, April 1st, if it surpassed 539, the next target would be 557, 571, and 584. I do want to talk about Google, even though we recently talked about it in my video a couple of days ago. But I do think that Google warrants a continuous update because it's still in a huge consolidation pattern since the last earning. It is still flirting around 2050 area, and it hasn't been moving up too much. The resistance of Google right now is at 2089, and if it does surpass 2089, then it could get to 2144. So Google today did touch almost 2089, but it did not hold. It got rejected, and it ended the day at 2062. So overall, I still think that Google bullish trend is still intact. It is cooking something, and it has been doing that for the last almost 3 months. So the next breakout will be big. I would either buy more or hold on to my Google shares. Let's talk a little bit about Roku here. Roku is a company with very strong streaming services and hardware. It has been very successful in the last few months, especially during the pandemic. And it has retraced since its all-time high of $486. It had a strong support at $295, which it touched and bounced. Right now, it is also trading in between 200 days SMA, which is 260, and 50 days SMA, which is 395. Overall, it does not look entirely bullish, but Roku in particular, when it runs really fast and furious. So we do want to pay attention to this stock. It is on my watch list. I own a small portion of Roku in my account, and I want to monitor this particular stock. I think the next level is 366 if it can surpass 325, which is when it ends the day with volume. Let's talk about Shopify. It is one of my favorite stocks when it comes to short-term and swing trading. I do hold a portion of my account in Shopify. I'm iffy about whether to hold it long-term, but I do want to share with you my thought on Shopify in the short term. We do see a head and shoulder pattern on the daily here, and the stock had dropped below 200-day simple moving average. Unfortunately, Shopify moved very fast and swiftly, and it doesn't really conform to any particular pattern very well. So we have to take Shopify one day at a time. Right now, the 200 days SMA is at 1,071, and 50 days SMA is at 1222. So if Shopify could somehow make it above 200 days simple moving average, as was the case today, and hold that for the next few days, then the next price target would be 1147, 1181, and 1222. So this is it for this video. I hope you find the information helpful. If you want to follow along with my investing journey and trading journey, please like and subscribe to this channel, and I hope that you'll come back for future videos. Hit the notification bell also so you'll be notified of my new videos, because lately I've been making more timely video for you, so you do want to watch it as soon as possible because it might not be relevant the next day. With all that said, I hope that I will see you again in future videos, and until then, bye!